Thank you for tuning in to Connect More, featuring the shared experiences, new adventures, and nightmares of four pals who have known each other for decades. Connect More utilizes the swear jar concept to raise funds for the American Cancer Society. When you hear this during the episode, the offender will contribute to the swear jar. We'll update the swear jar each week at the end of the program. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, yo, welcome to another episode of Connect More. I'm Eric. There's John.
Hi.
That's Brian.
Greetings.
And there's Jason.
Hello.
On this episode of Connect More, Jason and John hit all the notes. Brian and I do some home cooking, and then we'll whip some horses down the stretch to the finish in the whip around. But first, if somehow we get all of this correct, and sometimes, folks, these podcast things for us have hit some bumps. But if we do it correct, this will actually drop on a very big day for this family of friends. It's the first weekend of May, and that's a big deal because we always get together. It's around my birthday. It's around my dad's birthday. It's always Kentucky Derby Day, which most of us here love. And we also squeeze in the Cinco de Mayo bit in there, right? And for a long time, we got together every first weekend in May. I mean, it was on the calendar as soon as you got a brand new calendar, right? And so we had been doing this for a long time. We usually just refer to it as the Cinco de Mayo party. But Brian, you'll remember this May weekend tradition actually started at you and I with the Mother's Day party.
That's right. So the reason why they had a Mother's Day party is all you motherfuckers show up. That's right.
It was a Ruben party.
It was definitely a Ruben party.
Natch.
Yeah, he had an apartment that had a kind of a balcony that was over the garage. We called the Patio de Amor.
Patois d'Amour, 310 West 10th Street. The garage does not exist anymore, FYI.
I think there is one of those bronze landmark plaques out in front of it, though, right?
Yeah, I put it there.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. This is a registered historic landmark where very important historic events took place.
Well, let's put it this way. I mean, Ruben had to reinforce the garage for us to stand on top of that garage. So it was a flat garage. So he actually go in the garage and, put up support beams and stuff from the ground in the garage to, handle all of us being on the roof. So
yeah, I never had that much confidence in it anyway, but
no,
a lot of faith on one stonemason.
And so then for a few years then, of course, it was just the Mother's Day party. And then eventually this party migrated south to Iowa City, to the location where I'm actually recording from right now, here at Ruben's place in Iowa City. And boy, but the blowouts, like the big tons of people, epic blowouts all happened here, right? I mean, we literally had bands playing on the patio. We had the Iowa famous Dave Zollo played one year.
Matt Woods played one year, like the blues legend Matt Woods.
Yeah, that's right.
So we got Matt Woods before he won the International Blues Festival.
That's correct.
That year.
Yes, that's right.
So we saw him at the Winter Blues Fest in February. He didn't have any gigs. He was playing in a lounge at the Hotel Fort Des Moines, and we ended up getting him on the first weekend in May, and he ended up, and then 2 months later, he ends up winning the International Blues Fest.
That's ridiculous. What year was that, Brian?
Oh, I have no idea.
Ooh.
No idea.
That's got to be
2000s.
Early 2000s?
Yeah,
Early
2000s.
2000s.
Early 2000s.
5 or something like that, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Caitlin was around, She was little then. Her and Jason's mom, Char, would be out there dancing and falling over in the yard.
Yep.
Love it. Well, just to plug into it, my memories would be from 93, 94. You guys were big into Bite the Bag. Everybody was kind of newly married and figuring out are we really doing this? And the answer is yes. And it was fun because it wasn't college anymore, but it was a chance to reconnect and then do that goofy stuff. And I didn't really get those party games and stuff unless it was at that event.
So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, they used to have these things at the grocery store called a paper bag, not like the plastic ones. And you'd take a paper bag and you'd set it down in the middle of the room, and you had to stand on one foot, put your hands behind your back, and pick that bag up with your teeth, and then lift it up off the ground. That was a bite. And
That's a
after everybody went around and did that, then you'd roll the bag down an inch or two, and then you'd try to do it again. So the bag got shorter and shorter and shorter as the night went on. And pretty soon this thing is 1.5 inches off the ground, and you're balancing on one foot, bending over, like trying to balance and grab that thing and flip it up into the air before you crash down. And so it successfully got harder, or in succession got super hard as it went through. There may have been some alcohol involved as well. That impaired some balance.
And we can't do it. And we can't do it in light. We have to do it after dark.
So anyway, that's Bite the Bag.
I just remember, I'm sure I've said this before in our previous Bite the Bag discussion, but it always cracks me up, is I just remember always waking up those next mornings and not worried so much about my hangover headache, but I couldn't figure out why I couldn't lift my arms up and my shoulders hurt so bad. It was from diving at the Bite the Bag competition.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Bags that could have been used would come from Eagles or Barlow's or the Melrose Market. Look those up, Gen Z.
So before we leave this segment, Weenus 2, I do want to say one of my favorite memories of some of those Mother's Day parties are the costumes that
absolutely.
you and I would sport every year.
Absolutely.
Like we'd always try to do a themed costume.
Yep.
So one year it was mariachis, right? We went to the costume store and out in Valley Junction, got mariachi costumes. That was my favorite. What was your favorite?
Border Patrol.
Kind of has a different edge to it these days, doesn't it? I'm not sure we can.
How prescient was that? Yeah.
By the way, so when we first walked downstairs in the home in Iowa City, people were smoking weed. And they were freaked out when we came down the stairs looking like that.
That's amazing.
Well, we also had little blank green cards that we filled out for people.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that we gave out to people. Yeah,
I still have some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just for reference, why some of those people were freaked out is because, especially during the Iowa City days, we had people come in and out of these groups and especially this party. And so there was people that didn't even know these two assholes when they walked in semi-uniform. All right, awesome. Well, we've certainly had some great times there, and we had some great music there. So let's continue with some musical debate, boys.
We are the mixtape generation, so forgive us if we think side A should slap. In New Noise, Same Ears, we pull out the classics that shaped us and the fresh tracks we pretend that we found before our kids did. So we typically have a lot of lively conversation when we bring up the topic of music, and I don't think this one's going to be any different because I expect some healthy arguments here. Is who has the best voice in rock and roll? Who hits all the notes? Who's got the power and the clarity and the emotion? Who just makes you turn it up on the radio in the car every single time? So, Hedge, I'm going to turn this one over to you because I'm guessing you might have some opinions about this.
Well, we'll try to keep it short, as usual.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to say four names. I'm going to answer the question. Then I'm going to say who it should be. Then I'm going to say who I wish it was. The answer to the question, best voice in rock and roll, is Freddie Mercury and Axl Rose. Those are the two best voices in rock and roll. And from what I understand, Axl can still bring it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be selling the tickets they have the last 3 or 4 years on these reunions in a way that, for example, Vince Neil can't do anymore, right? And is famously from the YouTube videos of him not being able to do it. So I think those guys, range, power, ability to sort of warble and noodle, and it doesn't bother you because it's just really good. Who it should be that no one will ever say is, and I'm now gonna mess up the guy's name. I think it's Brian Johnson from AC/DC. So the most recent singer in AC/DC. That is the most vocal power that comes across in a rock and roll song. Period. That's what rock and roll was meant to be. Is it Brian Jones? Anyway, and then and so I'm going to put in plug for my favorite vocalist, which is the high tenor of John Waite of the Babies and Bad English Later. I think, and he wasn't doing like heavy metal or anything, and there wasn't a lot of screeching, but those, if you try to sing along with those songs, it's really hard to do so. He had a really unique, reedy tenor that he brought across and was always pitch perfect. I'm done.
What? I was gonna go get a lunch or something, waiting for your answer.
I know. I just got back from the bathroom. I almost didn't time that right.
In fact, I thought John just like lit up a cigarette. He's just like, it was so satisfying. He's lit up a cigarette. He's like, oh man, that was great. Oh baby.
Right. Excellent.
He's used to those fast answers.
Yeah, right. 3 minutes or less. It is Brian Johnson of AC/DC. Sorry about the confusion there.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Well, maybe. You guys know I'm not a big AC/DC fan, so he for sure was not on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, when I was thinking about this one, I went to some of the ones that I really, that I admire as far as whenever I listen to the songs, the quality of their vocals just overtakes the rest of the music and things. And I really think that Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin, I think fits in that category to me. And I think the one that I think we may have even argued about it, and I mean, I don't know if we argued, but talked about a little bit in our chat, was Huey Lewis is one of my favorite singers of all time. I just think he brings it every time. He's got soul. He's got a lot of emotion and feeling in his songs, and I just love listening to Huey Lewis, and I think he's underrated as a vocalist. Those are the two guys that I'm going to throw out there. Oh, and maybe Corey Glover from Living Color.
Yeah.
I love listening to his voice.
Yeah, lots of fun to listen to those two. You don't think of Huey Lewis, right? I mean, but I think you're right. I could, yeah.
Oh man, just the heart and the emotion in his songs is just unmatched, I think, in any rock and roll song. I just love listening to him.
Robert Plant's a good one that you mentioned because also you just mentioned Led Zeppelin, but I also liked his solo stuff that
Absolutely.
he was farting around with in the 80s. That was really good
I
stuff.
love the Honey
Alison
Drippers.
Krauss.
The Honey Drippers, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he's
oh,
real.
no,
He's the
here
real
co-
deal.
Are we wrong, John?
I'm the odd man out. I don't look. I actually thought the '80s stuff was pretty good, but in Zeppelin, he's just it's just white boy blues. He's just screeching out the blues, right? I mean, any of those singers could have done that catalog.
But like
But they
the rain, yeah, but they didn't.
But they didn't. Yeah.
But the
They didn't
range and stuff
they
that he
didn't
brought
sign
to those
into
songs.
Jimmy Page's band. There's a lot of range in the blues. That's true.
I didn't have I had on my list, John, I thought about Freddie Mercury for sure. I think he's definitely up there. I am actually surprised that neither of you mentioned this cat in the I guess more modern times than what everything you've been talking about. And Jason, I thought you were going to go with him when you were saying, this guy's voice just over everything. And for me, that's Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're
I think
okay there.
from Soundgarden
Sure.
and Audio Slave,
Yeah.
I could listen to that guy sing anything and just be in
Yeah, that's
flavor
true.
country.
Yeah, no, that's a really good pick for sure. He really defined that genre, that grunge genre. I mean, there was no one better.
But it was soulful, right? He added something to it that indicated that it was like, I don't know, that it had more than just the 4/4 beat like he was interpreting. You could have him read the phone book and it would come out like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good pull.
No, that's
I
a
like
great
that
singer,
one.
great
Yep.
pure singer. Ween, what do you got? Right said Fred.
Pitbull.
What do you got there? You go.
Yeah, T.I. No. Big X the Plug. Oh, who's playing the Iowa State Fair this year,
There
by
you
the
go.
way? Who I have no idea who he is.
I still don't know who that is.
No, still have no idea.
We are going to have to figure that out, or we're going to get
No. So
kicked out of the fair.
I had Freddie Mercury just because of his vocal range, just like you guys said.
Mhm.
I also had Chris Cornell. I was going to bring
there
him
you
up
go.
too. Just wow. Just brings out emotions in people. I think that's the key thing. Like John said, he could read the phone book and it'd be great. So
Yeah, and there's somebody like Freddie Mercury, like when he would do like his vocal tricks, like his warm up that he would do with the audience and stuff, like you wouldn't accept that from most people, right? You have to be at a certain level to even attempt something like that. And I could listen to him do that for half the show.
So one thing we haven't done here yet is bring up any of the ladies, any female singers who bring it for you guys.
I would say Tina Turner and Ann Wilson. That's who I'm putting on the board.
Yeah, Ann Wilson was certainly on my list from Heart. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very tip top for me because I'm I'm a big Heart fan. Seen them like 3 times. Love it.
I mean, Tina started out in R&B, so there's a little bit of the same critique I was making about Robert Plant, but she decided to be a rock singer in the 80s, and she really nailed that role, I think. I think those songs sound great, and she was able to do them live.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I really enjoy, I'm totally blanking on her name. I mentioned her solo album from 25 in a previous episode, but the lead singer of Hayley Williams of Paramore is fantastic.
She is great.
She is.
And I don't know, and I for sure don't remember this gal's name, but have you ever heard the band Hailstorm? Rock band Hailstorm?
It sounds familiar.
She is also very good. And she's even fronted some weird things, right? Like, didn't she go on one of these Queen tours? But anyway, she's very good too.
I was going to bring up an oldie but goodie, Bonnie Tyler. She has, it's kind of that gravelly voice, but once again, she has the range and emotion, just like we mentioned with the guys, right? And almost all of her songs, and maybe some of her songs are just way too emotional, whatever, way overbought. But I always liked Bonnie Tyler.
That's a dark horse. Yeah, I didn't see that
some of
coming.
her stuff was written by Jim Steinman, who wrote all of Meatloaf stuff, and it's kind of in that same, you could say it's overwrought, but the 80s, half of what was on the radio was overwrought.
Yeah, that was the vibe for sure.
That's gosh, Bonnie Tyler. I don't know. I'm not going to say she was fingernail on chalkboard for me, but man.
Yeah, I definitely would. Yeah, you could have probably thrown up 75 other female singers and she wouldn't have been on it for me. I mean, it's not, not that, again, it just wouldn't have come up. Just wouldn't have come to mind.
Not everybody's cup of tea. No, I get that.
No, it's fine.
Something different.
Yeah. So Lizzie Hill is the lead singer of Hailstorm.
Before this gets completely lost in the ditch, let's also note that we're bringing up singers that were pre-auto-tune, and we know what they sounded like. And it wasn't, there might have been some studio effects, but there wasn't the manipulation of the voice in the studio. And kids, if you haven't heard all this stuff from the 70s to the 90s, go listen to it.
Well, is anyone else shocked that John didn't throw Bono in there?
Yeah.
I was thinking about throwing him in.
We're shocked, right?
I like Bono. He's a great vocalist.
There was an AI top 10. Bono was on there with self-restraint and framing and appropriate response to the question that it took not to do that. And then honestly, I was listening to their Easter Lily EP. They've done 2 EPs in the last 2 months, Days of Ash and Easter Lily. And it's, they're playing to that B-side evangelical worship music that sounds like U2, but they've decided to just do it. And it's not that great. And especially the vocal performance, I think he's getting older and finding his limitations. So I was soured at the moment I was reviewing this question. AI kept trying to sell me Steven Tyler, and I was just like, I don't know,
I don't think so.
No,
I don't know.
No.
So I did start going on my own because I decided AI didn't know what it was talking about.
Yeah, I guess when I think about Prince, I don't think about the vocals, like vocal strength. You know what I mean? Like he's competent, but I don't think of him like belt.
I think of it. You're right.
Musically and lyrically, yes, but
whole package, right? That's what Prince is. Yeah.
Yeah. And the guitar and stuff. That's what he's known for.
He wrote a bunch of songs that kind of other people did better vocal performances on than he did, and that's how they became what they are. Manic Monday.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's a wrap. Let's bring this one home and hear from Jocko about being stuck in the middle.
idea of a good time includes watching tornadoes from the porch, tossing toilet paper into trees after homecoming, or serving up Jell-O shredded with carrots, chances are you may be stuck in the middle. This is where we dive into the quirks, traditions, and comfort foods that make the Midwest unforgettable. And we are talking about comfort food today, kids. We're going to duke it out over our favorite Midwest desserts, pastries, and I'll just throw this one out into the ring first. Brian and I, we roomed together for first year in college, and we were always on the same floor at college. And he would go away to for his deer hunting trips up in the Decorah area, and he would always bring back Kringles. Yes, Brian?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Still
That
do.
is it's some people call it though like a Dutch letter. Is that the same thing?
No,
That's not the same
a
thing.
Dutch
this
letter
is just
is
a
really
sweet.
flaky.
Okay. I think you're right. And the Kringle is more of a sweet bread, and it's usually just kind of twisted in
Exactly.
a way.
Like a
Uh,
knot. Yeah, twisted like a knot. Yep.
Yeah, very
Like
good.
like a pretzel. Yep.
Yeah, and so what the Kringle reminded me of was one of my favorites. It was the Kringle without the fruity center, and that's a Kolach, right? Some people like to call them Kolaches. I still don't even know what the official pronunciation is, but I just call them Kolaches. My family made those forever. It's that sweet bread, and then with I've made them before. I've made them with like an apple pie filling or a blueberry pie filling. Super great. Love those things. I found them to be they challenge me sometimes. I do a lot of cooking and baking, and they can challenge me sometimes. That sweet bread it can get kind of touchy. I just had a Kolach here recently, and the bread was just more like a crust, and it wasn't even really sweet enough. So you can blow those.
I was gonna
pretty easily.
let you Cedar Rapids Bohemian boys talk about the Kolaches.
That's
Figured
right.
that was going to be your
Well,
specialty.
those
So-
they were in our school lunches growing up.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Mom still waits in the line at St. Ludmilla's to get them. I know which time of year I can go back home and get some. And they're offered to me before I can get up the stairs. So
Yep.
that's a staple. I've brought some up for friends in Des Moines in the past. And, it's surprising like how many people don't know about it. But there is, even in Des Moines, there's a Coach's Kolaches. So that's a Czech pastry that's making its way around.
But so they make savory ones there. So it has like a meat filling to them.
Hmm.
It's not the
So
ones
it's
that
going
we
to be
grew up
almost
with.
like a meat pie, like a pot pie.
Exactly,
Is the
exactly.
breading still kind of sweet though?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh man, you
Yes.
guys got to drag me there next time I'm out that way.
It does sound
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
The only flavor of the dessert Kolach that I can't do is poppy seed. I don't understand it. I don't know how that got going, and I don't want any of that in my flavor pack.
Nope.
You don't want to blow your drug test.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sure. Yeah.
That is right.
That's why people in Cedar Rapids test positive.
Too many poppy
That's
seed
why.
Kolaches.
That's right.
Yeah.
Especially
That's
after
easy.
St. Ludmilla's Kolach days.
I
no
swear,
one passes
officer,
the test.
I've been eating a lot of Kolaches.
So I'm gonna go through two of my favorites.
Yeah.
So both of them Scandinavian or Norwegian. So my favorite one is called Krumkake. Think of like a I know
I'll bet
it is.
things that sound
Bet it
dirty but
is.
aren't. So Krumkake, think of it as like a cannoli.
Uh-huh.
All right. And so it's a real thin, rolled like a tube. And you can eat them plain, or you could just put a little sugar on them and, a little powdered sugar on them and eat them like that.
But do they have like a stuffing in it or something?
You can. Like I said, you can fill them up with cream, whatever
Oh,
you
okay.
like. Yep. I
So,
like them just plain.
Light and flaky though, or a heavier?
No, think of like so you have to press these. So you have to put them in like an iron. So you have a Krumkake iron to make these. And so
Oh.
I actually have one. And so I get the mix from Farm Fleet, and I make them like once a year. And,
So at Farm Fleet, it says Krumkake or whatever this
Yep,
is.
they have Krumkake mix, and my second one was going to be Lefse.
Oh,
And they have a Lefse mix that comes in a bag
Hmm.
that you
And
can
what's
just
that?
Sure.
Lefse.
Wait, left
So
side?
that's potatoes.
mhm.
It's rice potatoes, some flour, and a little bit of sugar, and you mix all this up and roll it out like a tortilla. And then you have an iron for that also. There's Lefse irons. Kind of cook that up, and then you can roll them up in. Well, first of all, you put butter on them, and then you put brown sugar or white sugar on them, and roll them up and just eat them like a roll, like a fruit roll up.
Is this like a pancake thing? Like
kind of real much thinner though.
And I always thought Lefse was a side and maybe not a dessert. So is it a dessert?
The answer is yes. It's it could be a pregame. It could be part of your meal.
You can barbecue them.
It could be dessert.
You can fricassee them. You can grill them up.
That's right. I've had them either way. Some people just eat them with their meals. Some, it's all over the place. Some people have them just for dessert. So I get Lefse probably about once a year also.
Well, now that this has turned into a Desserts of the World podcast, I'm going to go ahead and throw one on the table.
Do we have Mexican candy to try today?
Well, I think there's a store. I think there's a backlog of Mexican candy at this point. So now we're going to get into linguistics a little bit. So I had an aunt.
3, 2,
and here
1.
we go.
Here's where you can clip it out
here's
if you
the
need
edit.
to.
And
Okay.
Ms. Producer, here's where the edit comes.
Get out the splicing razor.
Can you just be quiet for a minute? I had an aunt who lived in Racine, Wisconsin in the 70s, and they had Kringle, not Kringela, Kringle, which is a Danish shaped like a pizza with a hole in the middle, and then you eat it in slices, and it was iced, and it was a little like a Kolache, but probably closer to just like strudel than anything else, and different flavors of that. You could get a blueberry or a cherry one, and she would bring those at Christmas time. And so I grew up with the confusion that those were Czech. It took me a really long time. A buddy helped me figure that out actually relatively recently, that was not actually Czech. It was unique to that Danish community in Racine, Wisconsin.
So you can get those at Fairway once in a while, FYI.
No, I see them at Trader Joe's sometimes too, and it's all I can do. And they ship them in, and they have a date on them, like it was made 2 days ago, and you're like,
yes. Oh, no labs this week. Let's go.
Right. How many minutes on the treadmill? Because the problem with a giant circular dessert like that is that there it sits, and you've had your 1 or 2 slices that you can justify, and yet there it is.
You can always walk by and just grab a sliver.
That's right. Just a sliver, just a little bit. Just a few
sliver.
bites. What damage could it do?
We're people now. Where's the scotcheroos here? Why aren't we talking? How'd that get by us so behind these other things, right? Are you guys big?
Calling that a pastry is generous. I mean,
we're talking desserts.
Are we talking desserts?
Aren't we?
I mean, love a good scotcheroo. That's obviously part of our cultural tradition. You go to any kind of like potluck, you're going to find that. I seek it out. I know the places here that do it great, but I do think, Paco, it's like that's more of an Iowa farm thing that got going, and not something that's imported from these other ethnic desserts.
And also,
but
and I will say, like, I did not grow up eating scotcheroos. That was not a thing around here. I didn't really discover the scotcheroo until I think maybe I was even in Des Moines.
And it's been good having you host the pod with us. Thank you, Jax. Appreciate it. Thank you for playing.
Take away your Iowa card.
Totally.
Haven't hit a deer. Won't eat scotcheroos.
I like scotcheroos. I just didn't eat them as a kid.
John made a good point. He said, I like a good scotcheroo. And that's right, because like a bad scotcheroo is just, it's like nothing in your mouth, and it's bad.
And there are people who try to make them with cornflakes and shit. Have we had these?
No.
What is wrong with people when they do that?
No.
2 mistakes. They do just straight Rice Krispies, and then somebody does them with cornflakes. I've had them both ways. It's like, no.
We had during our band booster years when the kids were in band, and we had a friend, and she always brought the scotcheroos to the potluck. And when we did those, you have your plates on the one side of the table and you go down, and then the desserts are on the end. And I always get my plate and I would start on the end to make sure that I got one and like a big piece that took up the whole plate. That was the entree.
Is that a Frisbee or a Scotcheroo?
So we used to, I worked on a couple of campaigns and would be all over the state for those. This is 20 years ago now, but we would rate the desserts at these events. You roll into an event, you barely eat anything. You get one little ham slider, and then you're like hitting 3 desserts. And so Ryan Dirks, if you're out there, he and I rode around in the Tahoe with a governor who enjoyed a sweet now and then, and we would purposely not get him anything and then talk about how good. Man, did you catch that chocolate mousse? Oh man, yeah, I saw that too. That was good. So we never developed like a rating scale or a system, but we definitely put some time into those reviews.
All right. So we definitely kind of also ran over the cinnamon roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a classic. Yeah.
Yeah, that is for sure a classic.
Well, the other one too that I got to throw in there, got to shout out to my mom, Shar, is nothing more Iowan than a really good pie, right?
Sure,
Well,
fruit
sure.
pies.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah.
and she makes the best
Yep.
pie crust on earth. You put anything in one of those crusts, and it's going to be the best thing you ever ate. And I just think
they made some movies about what you can put in those crusts.
Jeez.
Did I miss something here? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's
No.
Edit that part out.
Did you does she use lard instead of butter? I can't
think
remember.
that's-
I've been there with her doing this, but it's been a long time
Yeah,
ago.
traditionally I think you would, but now Crisco is more. I think what you use the vegetable shortening is fine. You don't have to cross town to get special lard or anything. But lots of lard, lots of butter, minimal amounts of mixing of the dough to leave lots of kind of layers of butter. And Aaron and I are trying to learn the craft ourselves, just to kind of make sure that it continues. And I will say, eating a really good piece of pie here from my mom has pretty much ruined me on getting pie anyplace else.
By the way, 2 shout outs to Shar in one show today.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do these recipe things, can we get right down in the mic? I'm going to need more NPR sound if we're doing flaky crusts.
Do you use real lard in that?
Ratio
Is that what you use?
Sweaty balls.
Right. So, and also band name Special Lard, right? So I'm claiming that one.
All right, well, that's some good stuff, folks. So now let's whip around on what horse bets we'd like to take a bite of.
No doubt someone's wondering where we are by now. So before we get called back to reality, let's stick and move with some quick takes, fast laughs, and then we're out. It's time for a good old-fashioned whip around.
Hey-o, whip around.
Whip around.
I'm going to bet on a horse named Whip Around.
You should.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, you
Yes.
should.
Put my money on that one.
All right. So,
Are we
We're-
earning
we're-
money on this show where we can buy a horse yet? Are we there yet?
no, we're not there yet.
I got a guy.
A hobby
I got a
horse?
guy. I've
Can
been,
we afford
I've
a
been
hobby
on,
horse?
on horses twice. Less expensive than you would think.
Okay.
Over at Arlington. Get in on Arlington while it's still there.
Were we doing any segment?
Yeah. This is called whip around. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Mhm.
All right. So we're filming that. Well, filming. We're recording this a few weeks before the Kentucky Derby, but we're going to make some Kentucky Derby picks. So some of these picks might make the Derby, they might be scratched, but we're going to try and sound real smart on this one. So let's make this happen. So let's start out with our expert handicapper, Jackson.
Oh Jesus! Of course, I saw that coming.
You love a response that starts with "Oh Jesus."
Yes. Ruben, if you can't tell, Jason is, of course, again, our curmudgeon on this topic.
It's just not something I've ever really paid that much attention to. I don't know. I don't think I've ever placed a bet on the Kentucky Derby. I've watched it a couple times. So when I pulled up my list of contenders, I mean, these could all be, they're either horses or the name of a rich guy's yacht, aren't they? Like, isn't it that all kind of in the same category of things?
Could be. You're gonna be like how Tanya picks, like which one's the gray one. I'll put $5 on that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So who
of
you
this
got?
list of contenders that I'm looking at, how about one that takes me back to the 80s? Great White.
Nice.
Oh,
Sweet.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's right.
yeah.
Get your bets down,
Yes.
people.
Great White. You
Yes.
heard it here first. And
Great
this is
White.
the guy too who, I usually don't do very well in any of these sports betting scenarios. So you got just as good a chance with me picking one out of the hat as you do anything else. So there you go,
All right.
folks.
All right, 3 words. Bet your house. All right, Jocko, what's yours?
Yeah, we do this every year. We forgot at the top of the show, we mentioned Kentucky Derby's a big part of Cinco de Mayo, but I mean, it's a big part. It used to be Brian and I and my dad and a few other people would roll out to Tama to the casino, and we'd, have breakfast and then go bet on the ponies and then play a little blackjack and then head to the Cinco de Mayo party. So this is a big deal for us. So this makes us big time Kentucky Derby handicappers. We know what we're talking about here. Uh, so I just want to say, I don't know if this cat's gonna make it in the gate. I don't know what his choices are, but his name jumped right out at me right away.
All right.
Incredibolt.
Oh, yeah.
Incredibolt, right?
Yep. Credible.
I think that's a shot. I got a couple other for you. And I think this one could be serious because it's Todd Pletcher horse with John Velasquez riding him, right? He's class president. I think we all kind of like that name too.
Yep.
And then I'm painted into the corner because this horse is being ridden by a jockey named Paco Lopez.
Yep.
Love
So
it.
Napoleon Solo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's some of the contenders.
And especially if
John.
any of these guys get in post positions 5 or 10, big bucks, Jason. Bet the farm, baby.
Bet your house.
I'll take your word for that.
All right, John, who you got, buddy?
We're going en Espanol this year with Chip Honcho. Chip Honcho starts fast, stays fast, and can kick everybody's butt if he gets out there early. And then the other one is Potente, who already has a win at the San Felipe Stakes and can go fast, gathering speed on the longer race. Chip
All right.
Honcho and Potente.
Once again, you are a blithering idiot.
Jeez.
What's the answer?
The answer is, I'm going to go with Woody's pick here. Always bet on the gray horse.
Uh-oh.
Full effort.
Full effort.
It is a gray horse. It's number 3 in the rankings for the Kentucky Derby.
Mm.
The favorite hardly ever wins, by the way. The favorite only wins about a third of the time.
Okay.
So the top point getter, I don't think was even mentioned in this. And by the way, who beat Potente last race? Full effort. You're welcome.
Bet the farm, Jason.
Bet your house. And then I was going to throw in Renegade and Emerging Market. So that's going to be my my exacta box probably.
It sounds to me like we got the field covered.
We do. We got them all.
How can we lose?
We can't lose. We can't lose. All right. Yep. So bet your house on all these. Please do. All right. So we're officially whipped. Swear jar amount to benefit American Cancer Society is up to $258 fucking dollars.
Woo!
Yowza.
We're gonna need to hit on that Kentucky Derby to pay.
Yeah,
that off.
man. Yeah, man. I got some fucking money to win, man. All right. So closing credits, please.
Thank you for listening to Connect More. I'm the producer. Please subscribe and like this podcast because it's my only chance of getting paid for this gig. Connect More is a product of Pan Tiger LLC and is hosted by Brian Danielson, Eric Van Lanker, Jason Nisus, and John Hedgecoff. Connect More is edited by me and Jocko. The showrunners are Jax, Hedge, and Weenus. Theme music written and recorded by Ryan Veeder. Cover art designed by Leon Golden. Musical director is Evil. Legal liaison is Brian. Lead writers are John and Eric. Runner-up writers are Jason and Captain Danielson. Publication coordinator is Jax. Special thanks to GVC, Aaron, Miss Roper, and Yoko. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow Connect More on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.